What's up, family? How you doing? I'm just making this video to value peace. The power of valuing your peace. Peace is something that we take for granted, especially at a young age. Nobody wants to be bored or inactive, and a lot of people want to be the center of attention. Excuse me. Center of attention, and the life of the party, and that's all well and good. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta value your peace, man. Something I had to learn as I got older, around my mid 30s. Like, it's beautiful. No drama, no craziness. Things happen. But when you value your peace more, things happen less. Things, or the way you react happens. Where you react is different, because that's a lot of things. A lot of things ain't what happens to you; is how you react to them. A lot of people dead or in jail because they reacted the wrong way, and that goes back to valuing your peace. Because when you truly value your peace, you're going to be vigilant on how you act and how you respond. Um, Not all the time, you know what I mean? Nobody's perfect, but like I said in my last video, the more positive you are in situations, when another situation appears, you will be that much more positive in that next incident or situation. So valuing your peace is very important. Stress kills, man. Stress kills. We tend to make mountains out of molehills a lot as a people, as a species, and it's not worth it most of the time. I remember Wallow. If you know Wallow from Wallow and Gilly, he said he was locked up with this old timer. When he was locked up, and he said the old timer asked him how many minutes, and he was like, "How many minutes for what?" He's like, "How many minutes?" So he looked at his sheet, looked at his paperwork, and he said between the time he started the crime that he did and to the time it ended was about 5 minutes. So 5 minutes got him 20 years. And that's how quick, you make decisions. See, a lot of people think they're going to get away with shit. That's the problem. You think you're going to get away with something. God sees everything. So a lot of times you do things because you think you're going to get away with it. Now, if you knew you wasn't going to get away with it, you wouldn't do it. It's like the Eminem song with Dr. Dre, Conscious. You got the devil on one shoulder, you got the angel on one shoulder, like, yo, chill. And that's with everything. I've been there. And I thank God, to this day, especially getting older, that he got me out of the things that I did when I was young, and the mistakes that I made. And I made amends for him by, doing his will, and getting out the streets and getting a job. And I worked all types of jobs. I worked in restaurants, I worked in sales, I worked in New York, I worked on Wall Street, I worked in car dealerships, I had my own business, so there wasn't no pride in what I was doing, because what I was doing, for the most part, for what I was doing was taking care of myself and my family and getting me out the streets. I remember my uncle, who my OG, who got me the job, he used to always call me when something happened on the block. And I'd be at work, because I worked a lot when I first got that job. I worked a lot, period. But anyway, he used to always call me, like, yo, call the job. You call the job. And I'd be, yo, Les, somebody's on the phone with you. I'm like, all right. Yo, what up? Yo, what up? You heard they hurt, what's the name got shot? Oh, for real? Yeah. Stay your ass at work. Cool. Oh, they ran up in the gambling spot. They robbed the gambling spot. Word. So I was getting all this news, but I was missing out on it, thank God, because I was at work. So getting back to my original point of really valuing your peace, it's something that you have to take serious, and it has to be important to you. I've left jobs, I've left relationships, I've broken my own heart for my peace, because if somebody keeps threatening your peace, especially as a man, you're going to react sooner or later. Then next thing you know, you did some dumb shit and you in jail, or you in some beef or whatever. So, you got to be smart. You got to use your intuition. You got to use your instincts, especially as you get older. You know what I mean? Trust your instincts. Like, yo, this shit keep going this way. I can't keep, you know what I mean? Cause what is it? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if you're dealing with the same situation or dealing with the same people over and over again, and you're getting the same things that are disrupting and disturbing your peace, then it's your fault after that. You got to be willing to move on for your own sake. Because I tell everybody, and I love hard. Everybody that knows me know I love. I got friends, family, my children, my girl. Everybody know I'm selfless. You know, I'm an Aries. I'm very protective. You know, I will do anything for my family. I'm the one that my family relies on. I'm the one that my family comes to because they know I'm not going to say no. They know I'm not going to make a big stink. Oh, I need this. All right, come on, let's go do it. You need this? All right, I'm coming. You need this? All right, Because I don't, you know what I mean? That's what we're here for, especially as a man. I'm here to be an asset. I'm here to help. I'm here to be a leader. But if somebody that I love and care about, I don't care who it is disturbing my peace and getting me into a place where I got to, get out of myself, then I got to remove myself because I'm not scared of what they're doing. I'm scared of how I'm going to react sooner or later. Because I'm a last straw on the camel back type dude. I could tolerate a good amount because I empathize with people. A lot of people, I don't believe people are truly evil. I believe people are hurt. Even though there are some evil people out here, there's some agents of darkness out here. Don't get it messed up. It says that in the Bible. But a lot of people, especially family and friends, they be hurt and old habits die hard. That's why you got to be very careful of your habits as you get older. Because the older you get, the more those habits stick. And a lot of times people just have bad habits. They don't even mean to be the way that they are, but they are who they are. And that's cool. It just ain't cool for me. Because I ain't beat. Because when I snap, I see red. And next thing you know, I'm doing things, saying things that I was going to regret. Because I ain't that person. I don't want to beef with anybody. I don't want no problems with anybody like that or anything like that. You know what I mean? I do what I have to do to protect myself and my family. But minus that, I ain't got no time for that, man. Because I value my peace. I value my freedom. I value my life. You know what I mean? So, whatever you got to do to protect your peace, trust God. Like I said, I've left relationships, that were tough to leave. I've left jobs that were tough to leave, making money, making good money and all that because my peace is more important, man. I'm not beat. Value your peace. When you truly value your peace, it's a gift that keeps on giving. And it's something that, you just recognize. But I tell young people, slow down, man. Slow down. Slow down, yo. You're moving too fast sometimes. And next thing you know, you caught up. See, remember, the frontal lobe doesn't fully develop until you're about 26 years old. So you ain't even got full brain capacity yet until you're 26. Think about that. You ain't even got a full brain capacity because something happens. Switch goes off when you're around like 26. Like, oh shit, I ain't got no time for that dumb crap no more. You know what I mean? But that's because you have full brain capacity. You're finally using every part of your brain where, okay, that was stupid. My uncle used to always tell me all the time, he's like, stop doing stupid stuff. Stop doing stupid shit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't really understand. I was just, outside. Because I'm like, I ain't that bad. I know dudes, I know niggas that are crazy. You know what I mean? We all know some niggas that are nuts. So compared to me, I'm like, but I was loud. But anyway, it clicked to me. Like, damn, that was stupid. I was doing stupid shit when I was younger. Thank God I had the grace and mercy to, get through that and see that. That's why I make these videos now, to give you early what I learned late. You know what I mean? But value your peace. The earlier you value your peace, the better your life will be. The better you will be personally, the better you will react to situations, the better you will handle situations. A lot of times it's just walk away, man. Pride is a sin. You know why pride is a sin? Because it gets you in a whole lot of crap. I'm not telling you not to believe in yourself. I'm not telling you not to be confident. I'm not telling you not to be strong. But that pride, depending on how you're using it, can get you into a whole lot of mess. Remember what ego stands for. Easing God out. Ego and peace don't usually match up. You know what I mean? So which one you want? Value your peace, my friends. It's a lovely thing. Hear the birds chirping? Peace. Chilling. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? Don't go out like Scarface. Shout out to Scarface though. Great movie. Al Pacino, the homie. But don't go out like him. Even though he went out for a good reason, because he ain't want to kill the family in the car. So he went out like a G, because he did something good. So I respect that. But still, value your peace. God bless.